Alright, welcome to CORE4 60 Mile. This one gets pretty crazy.
Alright, we got 10 seconds until the 60 miler. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. She's got a 4, 3.
Okay, so we have about 300 riders rolling out here, rolling out of the start at Wilson's Apple Orchard. I got in front of me Brandon Bartz in the blue FitWave kit. So as we head out here, the big story with this race, the big excitement that changed the race for a lot of people, is we had a thunderstorm the night before the race. And that thunderstorm changed the course from the dry course to the wet course and took out the 5.5 miles of Sugar Bomb mountain bike single track. So that had a pretty big impact on the race. We'll get into that in a second, but first let's get into the racing action here. So this is mile 5 I'm jumping forward to, and we're headed right into the first kind of B-road cinder trail is what it's called on the course map. But you can see it's just a grass double track. The grass is kind of long in some places, really slows you down. But right off the gun, we have Vance Fletcher pushing the pace. And this is Tom Keller right in front of me, the red. And you can see the signs of the rain last night. So Vance Fletcher was off the front for maybe a couple miles, and then Dan Nafe did a very hard effort to close the gap to him. I went along for the ride in Dan's wheel, and then we also had a fourth rider, Adam Gray, who's only 17 years old, with us in that front group of 4. So we had about 10 minutes of action. That was around 310 watts normalized for me. And that formed the lead group of 4. Now skipping forward to about mile 12 here. This lead group I was in was working really well together. We had a lot of tailwind on this first hour of the race, so that first hour was 21.3 miles per hour and 280 watts normalized. At this point we could see the second group behind us, but we had quite a significant gap. Now this is the dirt road at mile 24, which with the rain the night before has turned into mud. Let's see, we're about to go into it right up here. This group of 4 we had together, 3 of us were on checkmates, which was kind of interesting, checkmates. I think I definitely had the widest tire up front out of anyone. I'm running a pretty wide rim, in 29mm internal width rim with a Thunderbird 2.1 on the front, and that measures 56mm wide. So I was set up for sugar bottom, for dry conditions, for ripping through the single track, and that wide tire did not work out so well in this mud. So you can see already we hit that right through that first section, and I probably didn't take the best lines either through there, staying on the left side. And then it kind of got better here, and then there's a second section coming up, which is even worse than the first one. So Vance and Dan got quite a gap there, but I'm still moving. Adams was behind me, but now he's ahead of me right here. So it isn't too bad so far. Still going, catch back up, right? But here comes the second section. And I definitely did not ride this well. Should have made the decision getting off immediately to the left up there on the grass. Would have been a lot better. just kind of struggling along, trying to find my way. And you can see the other guys are off too now, running and cleaning out bikes and pushing it along. On the rear I had a Schwalbe RX, which did lock up, but not too bad. And that one was measuring 48 millimeters wide. So I think definitely if I had a set of 45 tires, nominal 45, or even better would be 40s, I would have done a lot better through this. That big tire on the front, I was just purely set up to rip the single track. And when we switched to the wet course, I didn't realize we'd still have this mud in here, so that was my downfall here. As we came in with the group, all together, and I did not make it out with them.
Yeah. Nightmare scenario.
So this mud section was about 6 minutes long total, and 2 minutes of that I had standing still, where I was cleaning mud off my tire, out of the fork. I had to clean it out multiple times. It was pretty bad. This is the first time I've had to deal with this. Usually there's pretty good conditions in Iowa, so it's good learning experience for sure. But you can see the other guys are really out of sight now. So immediately after the mud section, I joined up with another group of 3 guys who were all in the 50 to 59 age group. This is Brian Conant ahead of me here. We're doing this fun little trail, went around the lake. Now we're getting closer to Sugar Bottom. Just have this series of rollers we're working our way through. We have Greg Springborn in the group here, in blue, and then also Tom Keller, in addition to Brian and myself. And here my wife's giving me a bottle feed.
You almost weren't ready.
This is right at the Sugar Bottom aid station at mile 36. So we're getting deeper into the race. Still got about another 18 miles to go to finish.
I did all that work and you guys just
So I'm skipping ahead to the end of the race. Not much happened in the last 18 miles. Just worked steadily together. And we had a nice little tight situation coming into this last climb into the apple orchard area. But it was fine. Tom pushing the pace right in the front on this hill. So this hill is about 30 seconds. Brian following him. Greg going too. I was pretty beat at this point. That first hour of the race was pretty tough for me. So I just kind of gave up the ghost here all of a sudden, rather unexpectedly. And you'd think it's over at this point, based on how slow I'm going. Creeping up here, coming around the corner, and the guys are out of sight. But it's not quite over yet. So you just have a little dip down into here, coming into the grass through this area, a few dips and up and downs, and then there's going to be a last like 30-second or so climb before we turn into the finish. And I kind of taking a break there, that last bit, I kind of caught my second wind and felt like, okay, I can push hard for this last little bit. This last climb right here always hurts, but it's the last one, so you can Can always go hard for one last time. And I was quite a ways behind Brian and Tom, but surprisingly, I was actually kind of catching up to Tom here. Looking back at this, I should have pushed a little harder right in here around this corner. So I pretty much gave up right there and was like, okay, I'm done. Easy to look back and afterward. So I came in the finish here for 6th overall and 2nd in my age group, the 18 to 39-year-old men in the 60-mile race.
Little hot tamale pack.
Can I get you cold real quick? Yeah. I don't want to be in your way. Here you go. I'll take one. There's a drink ticket.
No, I'm good.
You're good.
So that was a pretty exciting race. That was a wild one. I was pretty wrecked after this. The temperature was up above 90 Fahrenheit and high humidity, of course. So it got pretty brutal out there.
40, 20, 60?
60.
Wow, good job. Nice.
This is a really great event, and this year, especially with the Gravel Race Series, it really stepped up. Really big thank you to all the volunteers who help at this too, of course.
The drink station's
Really
right
makes the day go nice, and it's great we have this event to do. So it was great racing with everyone, and it was a great day out. See you later.
Tamale there.